Hi there, I'm Maria. Join me as I explore life on your big island, training amazing horses and make unforgettable memories. Part 2 of the story has arrived, so this time I'll be heading to Zurich and going on an adventure with him. As you all know, Zurich is one of my favorites here at Moonlight Meadows, and I always enjoy going on adventures with him. If you haven't seen the previous video or if you forgotten who he is, no worries, I'll put a video right here so you can catch up. And if you haven't watched last Friday's video yet, I definitely recommend doing so. I'll include that one as well somewhere here on screen. Otherwise, you might miss out on the full context, and that would be a shame. Anyway, I'll see you all again in a bit. So, I'm back. Let's go back to last week Tuesday, or actually 2 weeks ago, because time flies here. How long ago it was doesn't matter much. It's all just one big equestrian adventure. Anyway, the father of the children had scheduled a tryout lesson, and I had already made it clear to him in advance that if the woman came along and misbehaved again, she would be immediately detained. That's how things work here at Moonlight Meadows. Clarity above all. Isabel and I were already at our new section, which I now just call the children's paddock. It might not sound very exciting, but it's our cozy, intimate spot where the kids learn to ride and everything surrounding the horses. The woman in question, let's call her Miss Crazytail for convenience, behaved much better this time. She wasn't immediately causing trouble, although I could tell she wasn't entirely comfortable. Those little sighs when you explain the daily schedule and you can feel she's trying not to cause a scene, but yet that's usually hard to do if she doesn't follow the rules. While I was helping the girls tack up their ponies, she was watching from a distance. Clearly she had her eye on the horses, which was a bit suspicious. As I went over to grab the saddles, bridles, and grooming supplies, I noticed she was lingering around, and I could tell she was spying and sniffing around the ponies. Not in a normal way, no. She was pulling the horses' tails very far up, as if she was trying out a new hair gel, and poking in their mouths as if she was a scent tester. Meanwhile, the father was busy with the children, all excited for their first ride. He was focused on keeping an eye on his kids, so he wasn't aware of the situation. When I saw her interfering with everything, I approached her kindly but firmly. "Ma'am, I would really appreciate it if you would stop that. The horses are not guinea pigs for a little experiment." But apparently that wasn't enough because she just kept going. Fortunately, the father suddenly remembered he also needed to keep an eye on her. He pulled her aside and said in a firm but friendly tone, "I would appreciate it if you behaved now for the children, or else you'll be arrested, you know?" And that's when the classic "oh shit" look appeared on her face. She quickly apologized, and I could see she realized her behavior was out of line. From that moment on, she seemed a bit calmer, keeping her distance, not causing trouble anymore. But as you might already guess, that was too good to be true, because unfortunately she walked away without us noticing. She left the group walking between the horses, and that's when chaos started. Suddenly, I heard her shouting, "Look at this one! So tiny! I want him!" When I turned around, I saw her with Storm, and I can tell you that was no small moment. Storm has a broken leg. My heart skipped a beat. Isabel later told me I looked really angry, and rightly so. It was clear I wasn't just angry, but genuinely worried. When I made that clear to her, I firmly told her, "Ma'am, this is reckless behavior. You can't just grab horses or ponies, especially if they are yours. And especially not if they have a broken leg." She saw I wasn't joking, and her face paled. Then Isabel carefully took Storm from her and led him to a quiet corner in one of our stables with some water and hay so he could rest and recover from the shock. I also found it strange that she hadn't noticed Storm's cast. It was obvious she hadn't looked carefully or simply didn't want to see that he wasn't walking properly. When she tried to apologize, I told her Zane was on his way to arrest her. Zane, my boyfriend, I called him immediately to come and take her into custody as we always do in these situations. Yes, I know that sounds a bit strict, but safety comes first, especially with horses and children. Once I had that sorted, I also called Amira right away. I told her that her students from the Nebula Horse Academy could help with the children so they wouldn't get bored and everything would run smoothly. When the students arrived, I explained that they should guide and support the kids and remain friendly and professional. But then Miss Crazy Tail started complaining again, asking what exactly I was doing. I made it clear that she was no longer welcome on our grounds. If she misbehaved again, Zane would immediately put her in handcuffs and take her away. And that's exactly what happened. Zane, along with his colleagues, arrived to arrest her. It was almost like a horse-themed nightly parade. The convoy arrived and she was finally taken away. The colleagues had apparently heard what she was up to and were just as angry, ready to help if she tried anything. I thanked them all for their concern and assistance. But she is no longer allowed on our property. However, her husband can still stay. He did his best to keep her under control, but she's clearly not someone who could really manage her. I truly appreciate his effort to help keep things in check. Oh, and I should also tell you that she received multiple tickets for disturbing public order, and she even hit several horses when they tried to run away. That's, of course, animal abuse and not acceptable at all. Eventually, the students from Nebula Horse Academy quickly took Storm back and checked if everything was alright. The fine ultimately amounted to a hefty total of exactly 12,000 shillings, a significant sum, especially considering it was just for a cup of coffee. The fines cover various offenses, first causing disturbance of public order, which is never acceptable when during a peaceful ride through the fields. Additionally, she was guilty of animal abuse, hitting 5 horses, and as if that wasn't enough, she also caught taking a horse without permission and with a broken leg, as if she was some horse hero who didn't fear risk. The extra costs for Storm's veterinarian were also included since she had been subjected to too much stress by her handling his leg improperly. In short, she is probably broke right now, and from what I heard from the father, big changes are on the horizon. They're likely getting a divorce and he's getting full custody of the children. It seems everything is moving quickly, but hey, life goes on, right? We're looking forward to meet the family soon for their first real lesson. It's going to be a fun and educational day. Until next time, keep your hands steady and your hearts open. See you soon on Jorvik Island.